Good afternoon. Hey, everyone. Welcome. My name is Marilyn Shannon, and I welcome you today to the Breaking Free Show. I'm very happy to have you here and hope you are well wherever you are. We've had so much going on, and it's a crazy time. And really, honestly, I am here today and I'm saying, you know what? Today's going to be the show where we just talk. However you're feeling, wherever you are, I know that there are things going on. People are uncomfortable in the United States with things that have been happening with the weather. If you're in Timbuktu, Utah, in Kalamazoo, wherever, if you're in somewhere in the world, this is a good time to connect. I always find that when there's devastation, people unite. I know it sounds grotesque on some level that it takes a catastrophe for people to unite, come together, openly share, but it is the way it is. And how fitting that today would be 9/11 at the same time. So we're just going to talk. I have nothing planned. I mean, I have a couple of things that I'd like to talk about, but I don't have a PowerPoint. I don't have a guest. It's just me, you, and Mr. Amnon. And for those of you who don't know who Amnon is, if this is your first time tuning in, Amnon is our producer. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm just fine. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little shaky, though, I have to say. I'm a little unusually kind of shaky.
Me too.
Are you?
Yeah.
And why are you
Just
shaky?
anxious because of all that's going on. I mean, we still don't know that we're completely out of the woods with that
Here in
hurricane.
North Carolina, you
And
mean?
yeah, I mean, it may rain a lot and things. Who
Yeah,
knows?
we don't know, and everybody's been touched by this, and so this just stuff to talk about. So anyway, during the show, please feel free anytime you want to call in about anything you want to talk about. I don't care what it is. If you want to talk about it, then it matters to me and it matters to the rest of us. So please call in at 919-518-9773. That's if you have a phone, obviously. If you'd like to come in on Skype, you're more than welcome to do that. You can come into computers, that's plural, then the number two, K voice. And that is anytime you want, you can come in on Skype. You won't be on video, you'll be on voice, and you can chat. And then we have a chat um, window next to our video. You can come in there too and ask questions and comment and just share whatever's on your mind because, you know, I know that there's all kinds of stuff going on, like I said. And our show is about breaking free. It's about creating whatever it is that we want to, whatever path we want to create towards freedom, acknowledging how we are feeling free, breaking free, feeling spirited, taking a chance, taking a gamble, busting your box, creating a new box. I mean, whatever it is, that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about, we want to learn, we want to grow, we want to experience things. And this is a great place to weigh our options. So, like I said, you know, when these disasters occur, people find a way to support each other, help each other, be there. And I always wonder, why do we wait for disasters? Why can't we just do it, when and before and just during and our lives in general? So, you know, anyway, just call in. So, one of the things I wanted to talk to Amnon about, because he is my computer genius, is this thing with Equifax. So, can
Yeah.
you address that for
This
me?
thing.
What is that about?
After all these years that we hear about leaks and about hackers and about fake Russians and about all kind of people that are hacking the world. The
Right, 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 right.
For a company like Equifax, and for those of you that don't know what Equifax
Yeah,
is,
you tell everybody about
Equifax
everything.
is one of three credit bureaus. Your credit score
Is that
is,
anywhere in the world or just American?
as far as I know, it's just in the U.S.
Okay, so
I
listen,
mean,
so,
it's
but so this is important anyway.
they make the decision what your credit score is going to be.
Right.
Them, I mean, there's Equifax. There, I can't remember the other two now.
Transatlantic,
No,
Transamerica.
no. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The point is that it's like a 3-panel judge,
Right.
and one of them, you know exactly what they're going to say now. I mean, is open as a book.
What do you mean by that?
Before he says anything, you already know what he's going to say. And
What do you mean by that? What do you mean I don't understand what you mean.
if they're a 3-panel judge,
Oh, right, they're all the same.
they should all be the same, and you
Right,
don't
right,
know
right,
which
right.
way they're going to go. This one, you can influence and
see.
you can
Okay.
speak through, and you can tell that judge to say, okay, when this person comes on, say that they're not worth anything.
Equifax
And
can do that.
That's, I mean, no. People that hack into Equifax now, they have all this information, and they can go and they can steal your identity. They know who you are. They actually exposed names, social security numbers, addresses, the
So
credit
this is a
card.
big hit.
It is a huge hit, and not only that, it's 104, 103 million people.
So if they
This is
hack-
half the United States. It's like you take your credit card out, you write your CVV number on it, and your date of birth, and you put it out there for the world to see. There is no
right.
excuse. I hope they go out of business.
So okay, so let's get to that in a minute because I know that a couple of years ago, my identity was tampered with. I'm not
Yep.
going to say hacked because you can't be me, but can't be you either. Exactly. But I know that we had that problem, and we
Yeah.
had to contact Equifax and Trans America or Trans
Maybe it
whatever,
is.
and then there's another one I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, so if one of them are hacked and they all seem to have the same information,
They have the same information.
does that mean that if you hack one, you hack all?
No, remember, you don't need to hack the other ones. If there are 3 people that have the same secret, when one tells you the secret, well, what do you care about that?
So they all in jeopardy. In
Yeah.
other words. All 3 of them are in jeopardy.
The other ones they don't even need to do anything about because they already have the information from that one.
Okay. So how in the world would Equifax, got all this information, how in the world
Do they get
did
to
they
that
get in
point?
this position?
In my opinion,
Yeah, in your technology security opinion.
irresponsibility.
Cockiness.
I don't know if it's cockiness, but it's irresponsible.
Okay.
They make a lot of money.
Right.
They have no reason in the world not to have top computer people that would know how to secure.
Taking care of your name. All
I
of
know.
us.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
and they knew
and
exactly
they
what
knew,
happened.
So this is the thing. They knew. Who knew?
The Equifax knew it in July that this happened, and from what I was reading and hearing, the VP of this chief financial CFO, the day after they found out, sold $1.9 million of his share. I mean,
But there were 3 of them that did that, right?
yeah, I mean, come on.
Why would I'm flabbergasted that they
Who's
could,
not?
How could you do that and think you're not going to get caught?
Well,
Is this a criminal act?
they knew that they're going to get caught, but what are you going to, I mean, I'm sure they knew, they had to, the word would have come out one way or another.
So is this criminal
But-
that they sold their stock? And
I
that
don't
they
think,
knew?
no, I don't, well, that could be, what do you call it, inside trading?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
may be, oh, we know that we screwed up, so now let's sell. It's possible. I have no idea. I'm
So
not.
you could buy shares into Equifax or
They are
Transatlantic
public,
or whatever.
pub-
They're
blo-
public
traded companies.
So what should Chris has a good question.
Now,
on
yes,
here.
so Chris is saying, are you able to share how folks can tell their Equifax at any?
Here, that we were just
Yeah.
talking about that, Chris. Good question.
Equifax made a website. I think it's Equifax Security or something like that. Can't remember the name of it now. But you can go there and you can put your name and Social Security or whatever, and they will let you know whether yours was compromised or not. Great, right? But If you do that, you are right there and then giving up your right to be part of a class action suit against them. So they are doing this, but at the same time, they're trying to cover their butts.
So if you go and try to protect yourself,
You are giving up your
the right for them to protect you.
right in return for the service that they're going to tell you whether or not you were compromised. You say, okay, and I will not sue you. I will not be a part of any class action suit. And you
But
know
if
that's coming.
But if you ask for your information,
You
then
can't
you
ask.
are acknowledging that you're going to sue them. In other words, if you go to this
If
website,
you go to the website and you enter your information, that's all it takes, because you're doing it in order to know. You're not doing it just because I'm.
oh, otherwise you won't know.
You won't know, and you
They'll
won't
just
put it
do
there.
what they're going to do, and you
Right,
won't know. They'll
exactly.
just clean up. How can they do that? Because
mean-
you're going to find out. Because when I I don't know about this, but when I had my stuff tampered with, I was getting bills from Victoria's Secret. I was getting bills from different companies
Oh, yeah.
that I wasn't purchasing from.
Right.
So how will they stop that?
I don't know, but they can.
It's and the fact that these three individuals sold their stock
Is because they knew that, we
Just-
screwed up.
is so barbaric,
Yeah.
I think. And I don't want to, I don't like to spend time talking about things that are not working and stuff. I like to find
The positive
the
stuff.
positives, the results, but we still have to in order to know what results and direction we need to go to, sometimes we need to know what's not working. So I just can't even imagine, how can I protect myself? How can you protect yourself? How can all of us protect ourselves when they did not protect themselves?
Them protecting themselves will take money. They need to pay people money to sit there and hammer at the network and see what can be broken into and what cannot. Now, another way that this could have become a big problem
As
is,
if it's somebody else's. Yeah.
I mean, how are these companies making money? We see it on TV all the time.
Which companies?
Those
Like Equifax.
like Equifax.
Will you buy protection?
You buy your credit score from
credit
them,
score,
or there's
yeah.
a place that give it to you for free.
Right. Well, they'll give it to you a limited one
Well,
for free for like the first.
That's how they
year
make their
time.
money. Now,
Right.
there's a bunch of these companies out there. How do these companies get that
So
information?
are they selling the information to them? Oh, so
No,
there
no,
might be a lot more.
that's fine that they're selling it, because that's how they make money.
Yeah, but are they selling it in this capacity? Like after having something like this happen?
Oh, I don't know. But my point is that there are so many of these companies that say, "Oh, you can get your credit score for free."
They're getting money paid. They're being
They
paid.
are getting, these companies can get the information from Equifax's computer. Now you have tens or hundreds, I don't know how many of these companies are, that are getting into Equifax. Each and every one of
It has
these
to be protected.
can
be
be
hacked
the
and-
problem.
right,
You see,
you can-
so it is so,
So what would so this is okay, so
Uh.
let's say this is it's a huge mess.
it is,
But how
not
could
let's
it have
say,
been protected?
by,
Considering all this the possibilities of all these leaks and things to
well,
happen.
those leaks shouldn't have happened to begin with, because there is no reason that I would go to get my credit score from my bank and have to charge
They
charge
charge you for it.
or to make it available on your cell phone that you can just go and do it for free. Oh yeah, just do it.
But
you know,
can't it's not that easy. Have you tried to get
I
it?
did not try it,
Okay,
but
but in general,
it's also
hard.
I
They
know,
ask you a
but
million questions, and you can run into an issue where you end up paying for it.
well, that's fine. But the point here is that there is another tunnel into their.
Well, I think that there's a lot of things out here that are not working. And these
Oh,
are the
yeah.
kinds of things that get blown up with like the Big Bang theory that get blown up to work. because now that it's like when it's like when if your home is broken into, that's when people start to have a burglar alarm system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the same thing here. It this
It's a reaction.
it's but yeah, in the scheme of things, it should not happen. This should not have happened in the scheme of things. However, it did happen,
It did happen.
and now everybody's going to have to pay precautions. But what I don't like is how we then, if you take the stuff that happened with today's 9/11, okay. So again, we want to um, pay attention to this day as a day to remember, right?
Sure.
As a day to remember what happened. And, there are things that you want to forget, and then there are things you shouldn't forget. But today is a day. And so, just like what happened with 9/11, and now we can't wear shoes into the airport. Because and here's the thing, I don't understand why we can't find another way, because to me, okay, so you can't wear shoes, and then you can't have liquids in the thing, and then you can't do this, you can't have a little scissor. I mean, as soon as something happens, something you can't have.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the way it's supposed to be?
Well, it's
Or should it be something
unfortunately
else?
that's the way. There is no something else, because the reason why this is happening is, unless you sit there and you think about all the ways that a terrorist could cause havoc on an airplane, which is kind of hard because these people are
Well, you can't think of all
inventive.
those ways. I mean, you can't think of all
So
of them.
when they see something like that, then okay, let's put that
But
in there
why
too.
is it always something? I mean, does it have to be every time that something like this happens and something is removed and taken away? It just seems like, where is it going to stop? There's no end to
When they are defeated, but that's
that.
that's
I don't. But there's
easier said than done.
Yeah, and I don't know if are we going in the direction, or should we be going in the direction of just defeating on that level, or should we be doing something else? Because we'll never get done. So someday they'll take a pen. Somebody will come in and hurt somebody with a pen. You won't be able to have a pen. Someday maybe somebody will, take paper and make you eat it on the plane, and then you won't be able to take paper anymore. It seems ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I
You-
don't think I'm getting
you
carried
ha-
away. I think
you
it's
have
silly.
to start somewhere,
Yes, but
and you have to do things that will keep people relaxed, so they will get on a plane. Otherwise, it's I'm not flying. And being a capitalistic country, you can't do stuff like this and destroy the airline industry.
I know, and
So
today's a very sad kind of a day. I mean, it's a very upsetting kind of day after what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? We had Texas got slammed.
Yeah.
Today, is the aftermath of Florida getting slammed. It's 9/11. I mean, these are really powerful. I mean, I don't normally feel jittery. But I'm feeling jittery today.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you look at it, step back and take a look. When is the last time a big hurricane hit the United States? Katrina, about 15 years ago, something like that.
But
So-
there was a big hurricane that hit Florida less than 15 years ago. I mean, my parents had.
I mean, there's probably a hurricane that's hitting Florida every year or two,
No, well,
but not something catastrophic.
devastating.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
it's sort of like, well, it's a cycle. It's
Okay,
about time.
So let's say getting back to my normal self. My normal self is okay. Let's take what's going on, and instead of staying in jittery, let's try to find out, what we can do to make them not the most of it, but what can we, make the most of it? What can we learn from it? How can we be better? How can we maybe just paying attention? So today, with all this stuff that's happened, maybe it's just a day to feel sensitive, to accept the sensitivity of what we have been faced with. And there's something that happens when you allow yourself to feel these feelings of sensitivity, because you then are more maybe awake, maybe more conscious on some level, more aware, feeling more for other people, and just kind of like present. It,
That would be great.
well, I can only describe it that way.
Yeah, I mean that would be that's. But I think it's wishful thinking.
No, no, I
You
don't think it
can, and
is.
I can, and a lot of other
I think
people
we're
can.
talking about that's why
Yeah,
we do
I
this
know.
show.
Yeah,
No, I no, I'm not going to say it's wishful thinking. I'm going to say I don't know how many people are out there now listening to the show. Put your hands up. Let us know that you're here. Call me 919-518-9773, or computers, that's plural, 2K voice, or we have a chat. What do you think about what I'm talking about? I'd love to hear your opinion. Love to have a great dialogue with you all about how you're feeling, and how you take these feelings, and what do you do with them. It's important that we feel. It's so often we deny our feelings, we numb ourselves, we tell our children, you know don't cry. We tell our little boys, don't cry. And I'm, for one, oh my God, I'm a poster child in thinking the good of things, and I think the good. I didn't worry about this storm. I wasn't that my mother is here, from Florida. She's still here, for those of you that watched the show with her a couple of weeks ago. She's still here, even though she was going to go back originally, but she decided to stay, luckily, before we even knew what was happening. And she's been worrying for days. Worrying for days. And I'm like, well, we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not about to spend my days worrying about something
yeah, but
that may not happen.
but you said yourself you're jittery.
I'm jittery today, though,
See?
because it happened. So today is the day
Yeah,
that I'm feeling, my feelings. But but I don't think that's bad. I think it's healthy. I don't think I think you have to do whatever you have to do in handling your feelings the best that you can, with as much balance as you can, with as much consciousness as you can. You do.
yeah.
It's too often people are, want to make nice to the extreme, or they worry to the extreme. And who can sit in judgment of anybody? I saw a friend the other day whose husband passed away, and I was just chatting with her for a few minutes, and he passed away back in several months ago. And she's, just doing her thing, trying very hard to breathe. And she said many people are telling her that she should be moving on by now, and he's just dead a couple of months. It's not like it's years, and even if it was, who can tell somebody? Just to deal with it however she can deal with it, and mourning, and it's an inside job. It's a personal relationship that you have with whatever it is that you're dealing with. Nobody can tell her. I'm not going to tell her. It's up to her.
Yeah.
So, our feelings are our feelings, and I just think that it's important that we experience them in in whatever balance we can learn to experience them. What were
And
you going to say?
I was going to say, and a lot of people are looking at what's going on and feeling for the people, and maybe we'll do something good about it. And then there is another side, political side to the whole thing.
Ay, ay, ay. Go ahead.
And
Yeah.
Hollywood, stupid Hollywood people, stupid.
But they're smart Hollywood too. Come on.
Oh yeah, no.
They're
I'm
okay,
saying
so
stupid,
the stupid
Hollywood
So
people.
the ones that are okay,
Yeah.
which ones are those?
The one that stands out is that Jennifer Lawrence.
What did she do?
It is all Mother Nature getting at the United States because we voted for Trump. You have to they stir it up.
Well, that's not just
Stir it up.
Hollywood. That can be anybody.
But it's, yeah, I understand, but is this really the time
And
to
there's a piece of me sometimes that
It's-
says that too.
it's kind of
But
dumb.
I hold back because when I hear myself say that,
All
I'm
right,
like,
you see, at least, so you see, you stop yourself
Well-
because you realize I may feel like that, but come on. The thing is, for somebody like this to come out and say it on a show,
yeah.
it is ridiculous. And then you look at Twitter, and people are saying, I wish that Irma will destroy all of Trump's properties in Florida. And it'll be great if it'll flatten it. And I said, you stupid people. Do you understand that that's exactly what he would probably want? because he'll make a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, it's people are just
Grabbing
okay.
at it.
We got nothing else to worry about, so let's make something up. And here it comes, and you see it, and it stirs people up, and they go and comment here and there, and it suddenly you are forgetting about the problem
Well, I think this
itself,
is so.
and you
Yes,
are
I think we're in a very good position to tell you the truth.
yeah,
I am very hopeful, and I think that a lot of things that are going on make us better. I do. I
sure,
do. Even my feelings of jittery
it's
today,
cycles.
I think well, and I think our cycles are getting better. Are more
Yeah,
there's
okay.
more consciousness involved with our cycles and connected to our cycles. Maybe on some level creating those cycles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I know that I am okay. I'm not happy, but I'm okay with having the jitters because I'm alive. I'm alive. And I know that I don't feel this way all the time.
Right.
So I'm feeling like I'm being sympathetic, I'm being empathetic. How can any of us feel any other way?
Well, that's the thing. You can feel sympathetic, and you feel for these people, and you're sort of like doing your part because it's not hitting you directly now, but I'm with you people. That's how you kind of sort of like
Yeah,
feel.
I mean,
I'm
I
with you
am.
people.
I do. I feel this
Yeah.
way, and I feel like, you know, I feel if we can comfortably feel our jitters, then we can comfortably feel our unjitters, our warmths, our joys, our hearts, our souls, our our toots. When we toot our horn and we stand up and we go, you know what, I accomplished this, and I feel good about myself. We've got to be able to feel as much of a range of emotion as we can, as we can as we can have experience with.
Mhm.
You know, did I wake up this morning thinking I was going to have the jitters? No, I didn't know that. I didn't plan. You know, yesterday I was gonna. I thought, huh, I'm not gonna feel. I mean, yeah, I feel sorry for all these people, but now I'm actually feeling
Feeling
it.
it. You're
I'm
connected
feeling it.
sort of
I am
somehow.
feeling it in spite of being busy and all that kind of stuff. I am feeling it. And but on a lot of levels. So I really would like, I mean, the purpose behind talking about this today is that feel what you're going to feel, express it, share it with people, ask for help. That's another thing. People, I feel, I would love to encourage people to ask for help when you need it. It's really important. You are not in this world alone. I acknowledge, and this was hard for me today to acknowledge, and I'm acknowledging to everybody my jitters. It's hard for me to acknowledge feeling a little because am not used to feeling I want to feel strong and empowered and happy and hopeful and blah 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 blah. But I'm a human being, so I'm
Hmm.
feeling jitters and acknowledging it to however many thousands of people are out there, all of you listening. Yeah, I'm feeling it too, and so
And
you
there's
know,
nothing wrong with
and
it.
there's
There's
nothing
nothing to
wrong
be
with
ashamed
it.
about.
No,
There's
no, no, there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with it, and we've had a lot to deal with, and so if you're moping around today, that's okay. The thing is, mope. We don't have to mope forever. We don't have to mope forever. And so
Right.
here's a question: why do you think asking for help is so hard for people? Well, that's a good question. I think sometimes we feel that, and this is just one perspective. I'm sure that there are more. I think sometimes when we ask for help, it's people think that when they themselves ask for help, then then they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. If I'm asking for help, it's because I can't do it myself. What's wrong with me? I don't. I think that has a lot to do with it. But let's not talk about why we can't. Let's talk about how we do. Let's talk about the idea that when we ask for help, we're growing, we're learning. We're all tapped into, in a moment, in a day, different things. I mean, what I'm doing or thinking about today when I woke up, I don't know, maybe I'm not, didn't think the same thing. Maybe you didn't think about the same thing. So asking me for something that I might know where you may not have tapped into it today is okay. Asking for more money when you're, working and you're needing more money for your work, for your job. Asking for more money, that's cool. That's important. I mean, asking for what else you ask for? Money, asking your body, like, what can I do for you? Like today, I'm saying to myself, do I want to work out tonight? Or do I want to go home and just cuddle in my bed with my audio book? I mean, what is it that's going to be good for me today? I'm asking myself, I'm asking my body, what is it that it wants? Ask. It's really important. And in a couple of weeks from now, for those of you that might be in our North Carolina, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, I am involved with lunch and learn called Ask. It's going to be at the Maiden Inn on the 26th of September. And ask is a big question. It's a big empowering word. Ask. Because you don't know till you ask. And what is the worst that will happen when you ask? Somebody might have an answer. Somebody might turn you down. What?
Yeah, you also have to know how to ask. You
Yes.
can ask in a cocky way, and people say, huh.
Right.
But you need to know how if you really feel like you need help, it'll come out right.
Yeah, it's very empowering to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, today when I was talking to my friend and I was telling her about feeling jittery, she turned around and she asked me some questions about it, and I appreciated that. So, and that's another thing. Go where sometimes it might be a little dicey. Listen to what people say. If people are saying certain things, it is okay to ask them why they feel that way, or, is there something you can do? Ask them questions. How did it start? When did it start? I mean, don't be afraid that because they didn't tell you everything, that you shouldn't ask. Because a lot of times they're just waiting for you to ask. And maybe they don't know that they can ask you for help. So I would make a point of just asking what and thinking what's the worst that'll happen. And as Amnon said, when you put it into the right frame, the right tone of love, if you lead with love and care when you ask somebody, why do you feel that way, or how come you feel that way, or is that what you wanted to happen? Then do that. And that leads me to something I really also wanted to talk about. Here's a question here. Do you think that's why a lot of people don't like or enjoy public speaking? Asking is a form of public speaking. Well, I don't know. Can you give me more detail about that, Chris? Because I'm trying to connect the two. That's Chris on our chat. So give me your connection of public speaking and asking. I mean, whether it's about asking to speak publicly, maybe, because you don't think you're good enough to speak in front of a group of people. Maybe, I don't know if that's what you mean, but ask. And another thing about asking is people make a lot of assumptions. And I don't know how many times I've said this, but we make a lot of assumptions in our head about what people want to do, what they don't want to do, what they feel comfortable doing. And we answer our question about somebody else in our head without actually asking them. We make a point of thinking, oh, they won't want to do that. Well, how do you know? Or they won't like that. Well, how do you know? Or my children, they won't eat that. Well, how do you know? Because other children don't eat it? I mean, don't do that to yourself, and don't do that to somebody else. Ask. All right. Maybe that's Chris or somebody ready to ask a question. All right, we're ready. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, this is Chris.
Hey.
Hey. Hi, Amnon. Hi, Marilyn.
Hey.
Hello.
So you wanted me to call in and clarify a little bit more about my question about
Yeah.
public speaking. So what I'm trying to kind of connect to my mind is that public speaking is when you're up there in front of people, you're asking people to listen to you, which is a form of asking. It's not a direct form of asking, but it's still a form of asking. So do you think that's why people, there's that story that there's, the top fears that people have, and I think public speaking is almost at the very top of that list. Do you think that's what feeds it? People don't like to ask, and therefore it's hard for them to publicly speak?
Well, I guess well, I don't know if it's the number one thing, but people are very weary of asking people to look at them or saying, I know something and asking them to
Mm.
listen. Yes, definitely. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And then I think what happens is people would make the speakers make assumptions that in order for me to publicly speak, I have to know it all. And one of the things that I love so much is because I don't know it all and that I don't know very much. I only know what I know and I know enough to ask the next question. Is I love to facilitate conversations of things I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I You could tell me to facilitate. I mean, I don't know anything, hardly anything about Equifax or about geology or medical whatever's. But if you give me the topic, then I will generate enough conversation because the
Mm-hmm.
because I understand the power of question.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. I think it's a to publicly speak. You having the curiosity and the interest in something. Maybe there is a topic you know so well. That's great. But anytime you are hesitant, it's if you know a little bit more than me, or you know a lot more than me, or you know something more than me, even if it's in the process of public speaking, that's fine with me. That's fine with me. So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
a good point. I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of people get really, and that's like what we do here, just on the video and all this kind of stuff. A lot of people won't do this, and I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, if I can do it, you can do it. Because I don't know everything, and I'm not a genius, and I'm not a Twiggy, and I'm not. I looked. It's interesting. Yesterday on one of the news broadcasts that were broadcasting during the hurricane, I was watching one of the journalists, and she was wearing a cap, and she was adorable. I mean, adorable, beautiful face. And I'm like, God, she looks great in a cap. And I'm thinking, well, of course that's why she's smart, but of course that helped because she's very pretty. And you know, I thought about that but then I think to myself, oh well,
So where's your cap?
next time, next week, if you not if tune in next week,
Exactly.
I'll have a couple of caps. But I do think that it's important. I think that we just have to come on out here and play.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you care that I am not twiggy or brilliant or gorgeous or no? I just want to create a safe place to have people talk.
Mm-hmm.
If that's all we do here,
No.
and we have great guests. Oh, and we have great guests too,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have great guests,
We
great
do.
opportunities for each of us to, learn a little bit more, feel a little bit more freedom. A little bit more freedom is definitely freedom,
Absolutely.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What else? What other thoughts you got on your mind, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to say thank you to Amnon. Going back to the Equifax situation, I
Hmm.
wasn't sure what do you do if you think you've been hacked, but I'm really glad you pointed out that if you start that process and you go onto the website, what you would be what you would be gaining and what you would be losing, depending upon how you look at that situation. So I wanted to give a big shout out to Amnon to say thank you for answering that question.
Sure. And as far as afraid of public speaking, a lot of people think that if you're, like you said, if you don't know, I don't know about this, so I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna stand up there because they may ask me something that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never a public speaker until I started doing the show back in
Right.
'93. I mean, yeah, I stood in front of a lot of soldiers and gave them talks, but not something like this that by choice. And one of the guys at the station, good old Ted, may he rest in peace, said, Amnon, don't worry about it. Just say, I don't know.
Mhm.
And that carried me throughout the years.
Right.
People actually commend you
Right.
and tell you how much they like the fact. I asked the question and you didn't know, and you told me you didn't know instead of bull.
Right.
So
Right.
Mhm.
there's
Right.
nothing wrong about standing
No.
there because everybody has something to give others.
Yeah, if you say I don't know, who does know here?
Yeah,
Or hold on, let me
Mhm.
Google it. There is nothing wrong
absolutely nothing
in the
wrong.
world with standing up and doing that.
Right?
Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And I would love to see more people get up and talk. You know, I would love to see more people share whatever it is that they do know or an opportunity to help other people speak.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, oh, nobody wants to hear what I have to say.
Mhm.
That
No.
is not true.
And here's the thing too, which I've said to this to a lot of people: you are the expert in what you do know, and you're the expert in your life. And there is something inside of your life that is extremely important to share. Extremely important. There's a nugget, there's a granule, there's a diamond in there, and that when you come out and talk, and it's everybody has it. You know, it's funny, and I because when I'm writing my books, all they're all about interviewing people about their stories, and it's just everyday people like us. Um, people, the first book, people will ask me, well, how did you get 22 men to tell you their stories? I just asked. That's it. I prayed.
Mhm.
Well, here's the thing. First, I prayed because I didn't know it'd be so easy to ask. Maybe it wouldn't have been so easy had I not prayed. Maybe 22 men would not have showed up had I not prayed. But my reason for praying was because I didn't think anybody would show up. So I need a little help.
So what did you think that you'll pray and 22 men will fall from the
No, I
sky?
just prayed that there would be men that would be okay to ask
and
because
and
I
today
was
you know that there are
oh
people
now
out there.
I don't have to pray
You
now.
could have probably gotten 500 men to,
Oh, there was
you
Oh,
no
know,
sure.
yeah,
stopping
right,
because all I did was listen
right,
and I mean didn't have any major plan of how it was going to be and all that stuff. I just asked.
right.
So now I wouldn't even have to pray
Well,
because
but you do anyway.
yeah, but you know, sometimes you know, I think I'm a culprit in praying sometimes when I need something. So, you know, I don't as opposed to nicely expecting it to just be. When I say nicely expecting, it's not a cocky like it, it's the way it is. Why wouldn't men want to share?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah,
Why doesn't anybody want to share?
right.
That's, you know. So I think that's important. What else, Chris?
Mhm. Um, we were just talking this morning about we were not only talking about asking, but we were talking about 9/11. I'm thinking about some of the things that we were discussing earlier today. You know, we've had the hurricanes, we've had our political situation, we've got the earthquake in Mexico, and you know, just this whole idea of the intensity of the weather and how that's really affecting people right now. So, you know, there's just so many things that are so heavy that any lightness is very much welcome. And you add 9/11 to it, and it's just, I think a lot of people's hearts are heavy right now.
Yeah, and that's and I th- and that's where we meet is when our
Mhm.
hearts are
Yeah.
heavy. But I would love, and I know we meet also in joy and gratitude and appreciation. But I guess when our hearts are heavy, we kind of slow down a little. We go more at a slower pace, and so we're able to connect in a different way. Maybe that's how it is. Maybe somehow we need our hearts a little heavy so that we
Mhm.
are more connected for when we're in joy and appreciation as opposed to connected in joy and appreciation going to heavy. I don't know. Unless it
Right. Right.
all matters and you know that's the way it is. But yeah, I think it's really it's a lovely time to love today. It's a lovely time to love.
Anything.
Any day,
Anytime.
but especially today, kind of. So, listen, everybody,
Hmm.
we have some time left. Love to hear from you. 919-518-9773 from wherever you are, if you have a phone, and then computers, that's plural, 2K voice. If you'd like to come in on Skype and talk to us, you can still come into our chat and ask a question or comment or, whatever you want. Just feel free. This is an open forum to discuss, anything that's on your mind of anything we've talked about or something brand new. Love to hear from you. Any other thing, Chris, from you?
Nope, I don't think so. It's just wonderful to have a safe space to bring it.
Bring it on.
Yep, bring it. All
Thank
right, I'm going to
you.
get off the
All
phone.
right.
All right,
Thank
take care,
you.
you too.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Uh, one of the things I've noticed a lot lately, or I don't know if it's lately, but always, is, and I'm bothered by it, is how we make assumptions about what somebody else will do or won't do, or that they won't like it. Or I think we just need to ask. And I'm faced with that all the time, where somebody will say, "Oh, they won't want to come in on video. They won't want to be seen." Like, why not? Don't even live to the negative. Just give people the opportunity. I really feel that very strongly. And I want to reiterate that over and over again. Don't play to the small, play to the big. And that's it. Because, it's like Skype. I've heard people say before, even here, somebody might say, "Oh, they won't want to come in on." Why won't they? I don't think I will. I don't even want to ask them that question. I'm just going to say, "Here's the video. Do it." That's all. Period. Right?
Right.
So, I have a lot of things. Always have a lot of things going on. So lately, I along with a friend of mine, a colleague, my friend Sherry, and I have teamed up, collaborated with Microsoft to do a series of self-publishing uh, workshop. It's a pilot program. It's never been done before. So it's being done. It's available in a store in Pennsylvania. People can come in there live, and then also Skype in with us live anytime, during, for this um, series. The next one is in October. So it's October, November, and December. And each one will focus on a different aspect of writing a book. And as I feel about public speaking, I feel the same about people writing a book as I do about doing the Breaking Free show, as I do about coaching, as I do about parenting, as about being a wife, a friend, everything is I want to support people in verbalizing, in connecting, in sharing who we are. That's why I do everything I do. So the Microsoft thing is the same thing. I am so delighted to be able to have an opportunity to offer people an opportunity in a really cool way to be able to get to that book. Now, it's not been done before. I don't know why. I can't imagine why Microsoft has not done this already, but it doesn't seem like they have. So we're doing it. So if you have any questions about it, please write me at Marilyn Shannon, SHANNON.com, and ask me about it. And you don't have to have had a manuscript. You don't have to have anything, just the desire. If that's all you have, that is way enough. Just write me and let me know, because we'd love to include you in this series. And you can come in for one of them, you can come in for all of them. So let me know. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I'm going to show your book,
Okay,
and
yeah,
we'll
show
take
it.
like 30-second break
To show my
from
book?
talk. Yeah, just to show your
Okay,
book.
okay, go ahead. It's an insight. I would highly recommend it whether you're a woman or a man to get some insight into men. And all of the books that I will be promoting is all about that. It's all about insights into a group, an idea, a philosophy, an understanding. One of the books I'm going to be doing is about families that have lost children, and it's a tough group. They don't talk, but they want to. And here again, it's really interesting what I've heard from those families that I've already interviewed is how people don't know how to talk to them. And so some of the book will share about what you can ask someone, or what they would love you to ask them, about their experience, and certainly people that have lost a child, coming together and sharing is really very, very valuable. So you can find the book on Amazon, this first one, an ebook or paperback, and the next one will be out soon on about twins and on from there. So, and here, and if you do want to write and are having trouble figuring out your message, you have one. You just don't know what that overall underlying message is. Then, let me know, and I'm happy to help you. For the men's book, my overall message is, men have feelings. Let's show them. Men want to share. Let's give them an opportunity to share. Let's give them a microphone that they can say, this is how I've done this, so that other men will say, wow, there are men out there feeling the same way or experiencing life in this way. Look, that's the purpose. Purpose is for women to see that men do feel, do, have experiences, are emotional, are good daddies, are good husbands, all of those things. So, your message, if you are in the process of trying to figure out what your book is, by all means, please, get in touch with me. Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com. And I will listen to you, and I will help you connect the events of your life into a message. Some events are like, so what? Because, for instance, if I've had experiences in my life that are good, I'm not a famous person. It may not get to the top of any list. I have to find something within my experiences that will make the difference. If, and I won't say that you can't publish and get to be so famous and get to be on like the New York Times or whatever, because I believe anybody can. I believe anybody can, but the work has to be good. Do not think about slapping a book together in a couple of days and having it be like this masterpiece. Chances are it won't be. It needs to be edited well. It needs to be formatted. It needs to have a good, a great cover. It needs to be done right. So that's why we're doing this workshop. That is why I'm so passionate about these things. And your voice does matter. And I actually have a young 10-year-old client that I've been working with who has written a book, and her parents are bringing her to me to help her with her public speaking because she has things to say to kids. So sit back, use me as an example if you want, because I am not a writer. I am now, but I wasn't. I am not a model, but I am a model of public speaking now. So, take a look and know that you're not alone. It's really important. So, there's another question on here. Oh, this is a question you've interviewed. Okay, to me, you've interviewed hundreds of people, maybe into the thousands, maybe. Besides the usual questions about the weather, where do you live, etc., and the past, what questions do you like to ask someone to keep dialogue moving forward? Do you have go-to questions that, no, I have no go-to questions. I have no plan. usually of the questions. I just listen to the people that I'm talking to. Everybody is different. And they're different just like you are, just like I am. I'm different today than I was yesterday. I sure hope you don't ask me a question today that doesn't matter to me anymore or doesn't matter to you. Listen to where I am. So when I am interviewing people, I am listening to who they are now and what they've accomplished and all that kind of stuff and what pops, how they say something. Maybe it's the tone in their voice that I address, but it's always something like that. So I love to help people do this. What else with you? Anything else with you?
No, nothing really. I mean,
Nothing like
I'd
that.
like to keep it like that.
Okay. So listen, also, and I don't usually a lot of times when I have lots of guests on, I don't always promote the things that I'm doing. I save the space for my guests. But I do have a lot of things going on that I think are relevant. The Microsoft thing is free. Come and join us. On this coming Saturday, if you're living in the North Carolina, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, I'm involved with a program called Embrace, which is about women's health, women's pelvic health, and sexuality. Again, I am not a clinician. I am the opening speaker, however, talking about being free and being free with your sexuality. So it's going to be starting 8:30 this Saturday morning, the 16th, from 8:30 to 11:30. Breakfast is included. $10 if you RSVP ahead of time. 15 at the door. Write me, Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com, and I will give you all that information. The next thing is going to be in downtown Raleigh on Saturday night is a storytelling night at Morning Times. It's free. Love to invite everybody to come to share your stories of whatever they are. Again, and it's amazing. We've done this before. It's amazing the stories that people are inspired to share and what happens with people in the audience and how inspired they are by some of the stories that you just wouldn't think would be like inspiring, but they are. They're just everyday stories that people love. And so that's going on. And then on Tuesday, the 26th, also in Raleigh. And if you are interested in doing any of these kinds of things in your neck of the woods, let me know. We're going to do a story night honoring September, which is Pride Month. So stories of coming out. So there's lots of those stories I'm sure that people can connect with, relate to, sympathize over, and just love people through who they are. So please connect with me at MarilynShannon.com, and I will fill you in on all of these things. And could you show my book one more time? And I need some ethnicity for a special project that will go along with my book, a DNA project that's not anything anybody has to pay for. It's just you're going to kind of spit in a little cup and they're going to take your DNA and see how that relates to some of the stories behind where people are from. So if you know anyone, if you are one, if you would get in touch with me, I would so appreciate it. Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com. So with that, that is the end of our day and the end of our show. Join us next week.
It's not the end of the
Oh, it
day.
isn't? Oh, it's not the end of the day. Sorry. Well, it might be where somebody is.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's
I
true.
stand corrected. Thank you very much. It's not the end of our day. It's just the end of our show. So we thank you so much for being here with us today and partaking in our kind of like off the cuff, open forum, just free thoughts, right?
Right.
See you next week. Bye. Have a great week. And to everybody out there that has been feeling kind of dicey today. I send you my love. And for everyone in Florida and all around the country that's experienced some kind of craziness, and then 9/11 today, you're in my heart. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.